Accept your death.
Man, I tell you, trying to eat all these vegetables, it's got me feeling ways, you know, like feeling pretty good. You know what a difference it makes when you put something good into your body as opposed to something not so good. You know?
Yeah, instead of like a greasy burger or something.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I did have a greasy burger the other day after not
had
having
yesterday.
one for a while.
It was delicious.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I had I went to I got a couple of these little junior bacon cheeseburger things because my eyes were bigger than my stomach apparently. That's another thing. There's like can't eat as much as I could before, you know? I had one of these things and then I thought, you know, I don't even want the second one. And I was carrying some stuff in from my car and I put it in the pocket of my jacket and I forgot about it for about 4 days.
Walk around with a burger in your pocket.
I had
like Wimpy from Popeye. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for, you
for a hamburger today. Yeah, no, it wasn't until I went to go take. I don't know exactly how this happened, but I went to take my wallet out for something, and I accidentally grabbed this cheeseburger. I just pulled it out of my pocket. I'm like, what the heck? Oh,
that's
man.
So fun. That's not a debit card, sir.
That's not a preferred currency around these parts.
That looks like a cheeseburger, like one that's, pretty old from the looks of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a concept. You put good things in your body and you feel better.
Yeah, sleeping better. Just tummy's feeling better. Everything's happy,
Dude, good produce is so fun. Hard for me to find around here sometimes, and I live by myself and only cook for myself and things like that, so it goes bad really fast. So it's hard for me to keep a lot of fresh stuff on hand, and
that's what I struggle with too, is just eating it fast enough where it goes. And unfortunately teenagers aren't super fond of vegetables, so I'm not really getting much help on that front. But I don't like wasting food, especially nowadays. I feel bad throwing things out when they go bad and they sit around.
No, everything's so expensive.
Yes, but it is what it is. You know what's not expensive is leaving a comment on our podcast, and a few of you did last week. It's free.
Yeah.
Helps us out. So let's go into our comments here. So first comment I want to highlight here is Unusual Otis says, bro, you need to sign up for Destroyer's MKX Revival Tournament. Oinky Doinky showed up last week with Pretty Lady Leatherface. Imagine Pretty Lady in 2025. That is one of my new favorite gamer tags, Oinky Doinky.
That's not your Heidi, because you play Pretty Lady.
I did play Pretty Lady. And this is actually why I wanted to highlight this comment, because I'm pretty sure Destroyer does those on PlayStation, and my PlayStation RIP this week. Attempted to fix it.
For real? Attempted to fix it? How'd it go?
Well, we got her apart. We got the old HDMI port off, but buddy that was helping me solder the new one on damaged some of the, I don't really know what they're called, little things that you're supposed to stick the HDMI port to. And so the new one wouldn't connect properly, I guess. So that's a big sag. I might be able to still fix it, but I don't really care enough, to be honest. I'm happy with my Xbox. I've been using Game Pass and playing all sorts of games anyways. So unless they do some sort of Xbox MKX event, because I don't believe that game has crossplay. I think that was the last.
No, it's also region locked.
Oh yeah.
So you can't even go NA to EU unless you have a copy of that game, which you would have to, I think, swap your country on the PlayStation itself, so it took you to that PlayStation store.
Right. Yeah, so there's the limitations. I will unfortunately not be able to participate in those MKX events. Maybe in the future. Who knows? But as of right now, anyways, thanks for that. Oinky Doinky is going to be making me smile for the rest of the day. Nirakar?
I picture a pig in a $4 t-shirt. Oinky Doinky.
$4 t-shirt. That just keeps coming up, doesn't it? That does. Next comment says Primal Podcast, guys. I love it. I was using Primal more this week, but I think I gotta throw in the towel. I'm not a trendsetter. You know, and
Yeah, it sounds really awkward. It sounds really forced every time I see it. Right? It doesn't really quite flow.
I'll leave the trendsetters up to the other cool kids on the block. You know,
Hey, that's more ambitious than anything I've ever done.
I tried though. Two weeks in a row, we tried to make it go. If you want to keep using
I
it,
didn't try. You tried. I didn't try.
I did try. I tried harder than I did for Prime. I'll tell you that much. It's not by much, to be honest. But you know, attempts were made, and you learn. That was, you know, it's not Prime and Primal are not going to be the next Riz and Skibbity Riz Bob or whatever, you know. So
Skibbity Riz Bob.
but you know, solid attempt. Thanks to everyone that were jumped on the train with me, all three of you. I appreciate the effort.
Yeah, you've all embarrassed yourselves enough. It's time to move on.
You know, at some point, you just got to throw it in the towel. So that's what we're doing. Last comment here, Snorts. It took me all 37 challenges to finally find Floyd. I had the most diabolical team that I didn't even know how to use and lost. Not worth reattempting. Oh man, I finally competed the chase for Floyd last night. I got home after work yesterday and I said, you know what? I'm going to go through all 37 of these challenges. I've got to be missing something. And I found him. Finally found him. It was I'm glad that's over, to be honest. That was it was a fun little journey to try and find him, but man, I was just lucky that I managed to do it on a team that I knew how to play. There were so many challenges when I'm going through and I'm like, please don't be Ashra and Serena. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
That's the one
here.
I got it on, and I was like messing it up when I finally got it. But I know some Ashra, and I got to say those Kia's blades saved me because Floyd's a masher, man. So you just do that on like, just pretend you're playing Combat League and do any block string into Kia's blades, and you're gonna hit Floyd, like just free damage all day. So it's just a matter of killing him before he could kill me because. Dude, that character's so overtuned. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And he has that little side switching Ermac ability that Shang Tsung had in his ninja, the one that took all 3 slots for your custom variations.
Oh,
You remember
right.
the little
Yeah,
flip
yeah.
over Ermac? So Floyd has that. That's not in the game otherwise. I thought that was cool. And he's cooler than he doesn't just feel like a Sub-Zero reskin that's just pink or whatever. He's got like his own sort of like vibe, and even though he's like stealing everything, I feel like he's got something going on.
I would love to see like a more balanced version of him like released as like, or maybe even as a cameo later on, you know, Lloyd coming in.
I would love to see this as like the male version of Chameleon. So we have the female Chameleon as the cameo, the male version is like the main. Like, it obviously have like balance them and stuff, right? Some of that frame data is kind of suspicious, I gotta say.
Yeah, a little bit.
Dude, but to the sentiment of the comment, that was the second time I had to go through it, and so I tracked my the things I was unlocking like a lot more vigilantly the second time around, but I wasn't feeling it. I got stuck in there with Tanya doing
rough.
The one I unlocked it with was she may have been like my 5th fatality, 1 fatality with 5 characters or something.
Yeah, that one wasn't unlocked for me. I didn't. I tried that one numerous times. I didn't get it. Oddly enough, which is ones I'm pretty sure I've done numerous times before, was like the sweeps and the stance switches. Those were the 2 that I got that I must have been missing. But I could have sworn I've done those like numerous times, but I must have done something different.
I think after you're done sweeping, did you like finish killing them? Because I've heard people say you just win through a timeout, just hit them with 13 sweeps and do literally nothing else.
Yeah, I think that's what I did. So I did 12 sweeps in the first round, then I did 1 sweep in the second round, and then I just let the timer run out, and then I got it.
Right.
So I think that's all. It's all a blur. You know, it happened so fast. I was like, oh my god, now I'm fighting Floyd. Oh my god. But
yeah, I'm kind of glad it's over. In the stage, I hate it more than I love it. And, like it's really hard on the eyes. Like that sunset, like after it's like a real sunset, right? Like a glare. Like it really kind of hurts my eyes. I tried to do some stuff in practice mode with it. You know, shiny new toy. I already knew it was kind of like a. Dude, every game's got to have that stage to where, like, if it's not Infrared Scorpion on...
oh, man. The Sky Temple.
The Sky Temple, yeah. And, you know, shit like that. There's always got to be something. But that grass obscures, like, so much. You can't see Noob Shadow. You don't have, like, visual indicators like that. You can see, like, the light effects.
And that's so huge. I think I would be surprised if that stage isn't adjusted a little bit. I would be
Dude.
surprised if it's not banned in Pro Comp.
I bet you they just make another version of it, or they release maybe a second version because it's called Sunset, right, or Field
Right.
Sunset, something like that. So maybe it'll do, different time of day or something. When you're in that left corner, whoever's back is to that left corner, you can't even make out any definition in their face. It's just a big glare from the sun that's like directly behind it. But I mean, it looks cool, but it's really fatiguing on the eyes, and then all the grass obscuring stuff, right?
You're just like standing around in practice mode. Like, yeah, it's a cool, pretty stage, but like
For like
yeah.
5 minutes, and then it's like, okay,
That's-
my eyes can't take anymore. Like it
I was so excited for it, and then it was just so disappointing once I actually unlocked it. I'm like, oh. But I mean, it is what it is. I saw, I think it was Mike Metroid posting saying that like there's one corner, I think it's the left corner, where you can't really see like Cyrax's bombs when she like puts them on the ground. So it's kind of like, yeah.
There's patches of grasses where like Ghostface is completely concealed if he's crawling. You of course saw him crawl to that spot, right? But
Yeah.
the point being, like you can't see Mavado's trap, but you can see the big kind of red glow. And I fought against somebody's Cyrax on that stage. Who was it? Anyway, you can't see the bombs, but you can see the light. Like there's little lights that flash on them. You can see through the grass, but that is,
Let's make that game even harder.
Yeah.
putting a grass wall up in there. So,
But it's cool, right? I'm not trying to look a gift horse in the mouth. Like for like a collector sort of thing. It's not like, what are some of the other stages they've kind of given to us over time? Not like the DLC ones, but like the tea house, the rainy version of the tea house. That's one of my favorite stages in the whole game. It's the opposite of that stage. It's very pacifying. You kind of have the sound of rain, and it's the background's desaturated because it's gloomy, it's drizzly and stuff.
I don't think I have that one.
How
did you unlock that one again? I don't think I did whatever you needed to do.
I think you need to. I don't know.
I haven't looked,
It was
to be
either
honest.
something in the story mode or. Man, that got unlocked as soon as they released it. I don't remember what the requirement was. Someone will remind us here.
Yeah.
Can I Google it? Here, I'll Google it.
Because I remember at one point, like seeing what the requirement was and being like, I don't really feel like doing that, and like I don't care that much about that version of the stage. But maybe I'm misremembering.
I unlocked it through like a move, like doing a classic tower or something. Hold on. Here's a Reddit thread. Good old Reddit.
Good old Reddit, the front page of the internet. Isn't that what they call it? I don't use that website really. I think I have an account on there. I used to post videos to the Mortal Kombat.
It was a seasonal reward. Okay, it was the Raiden season.
Oh.
So you got that from beating the Raiden boss.
Oh, then I must have it. I don't think there's a season that I didn't finish. So I'm actually just currently going through Invasions right now, trying to finish it. I just got to Tarkatan Colony.
There's a couple cool new things in there. The MK11 version of Cyrax and Sector for the cameos.
That was cool.
They both look sick. Those dreads are super long. You know how like the roster characters, the dreads are really short in their default outfit.
Yeah,
because it's like a redesign and stuff. But you got the classic MKX one where they all have the like samurai ponytail of dreads. These MK11 ones have like, I don't know, they're long, they're nasty looking. Beefy looking characters.
Quan's got a pretty cool skin I've been rocking in there, like a vampire one. Same with Sector. Same idea. Those are cool.
Sector, Cyrax. Quan has a couple cool new skins this season. They gave the Ermac MK11 skin. So that's cool.
I'd love to see that for all the Ermac fans out there. I'm playing
them.
I will tell you though, the block breaker games are the most irritating things I have ever played in my life. Like
those are getting worse. They're like, you know what? I feel like people aren't annoyed enough. We're just going to put a bunch of unblockable saws in here. And we're going to reduce any sort of like acceleration the ball has by like 50% from like last season or whatever. The thing just flops over. But I have the tech if you don't have the annoying saw ones. You want to hear what the tech is?
What's the tech? Sure. What's the tech?
Throw down, so choose Shao Kahn, throw down his axe, and then do the full screen projectile. Because it doesn't matter which way you're facing, it hits everywhere on the screen.
Oh, okay.
So you just have to worry about avoiding saws, and then you just do whatever it is, down back 4. Down back 4 to put down, or wait, down forward 4 to put down the axe, and then down back 4 which is normally like his kind of low projectile, right? When
Right.
he has the axe. Is
Okay.
that a low?
I'm not sure. I've never touched the character in my life.
Maybe it's not a low. It's on the ground. I don't really play him either, obviously.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's how I did like the easier ones. But then the saws get way more obnoxious.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at too, where there's like one going across the bottom and two going across both sides, and it's like that block breaker like game, like the little throwback, like that was so cool when I first saw it the first time. I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of neat little throwback to like the old like arcade game, and then they just made it unnecessarily harder. Like, why not just do more
Yeah.
throwbacks, right? Like, do other
And-
games that are.
And what's annoying is that the ball isn't quite big enough for a high to hit it, so you can't.
Okie
Alright.
dokie. So, if you did miss last week, we're trying to find groups of 4 that are the same, correct? Like they have something in
That
common.
like have a similar theme, right? They all can be described by something, and that's what will be revealed when you select a correct group of 4.
Okay. So I got one already off the bat, I think. Noob, Cyber, Human, and Nenra.
Okay.
Types of
Alright.
smoke, versions of smoke. Okay, and then let's go spear, missile, grenade, and net type of projectiles? Question mark? Oh, I was one away. Spear, missile, grenade, and trident? I'm one away again, so I'm missing the third one. Spear, missile, grenade, and axe.
What are you thinking here?
I'm just pressing at this point. Let me just take a minute. Let me just take a minute. Okay, let's.
Think thematically, right? And we're talking about Mortal Kombat here.
Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat. Trident to me seems like that would be an injustice thing. You know, we got the Aquaman going on, right?
Who has a trident? In
Uh,
Mortal Kombat, like any Mortal Kombat game.
I
That's literally what the move's called.
Trident. That's Cyber Smoke, isn't it? He has a from his chest. It's a trident.
That sounds right.
So
So I think that would make it distinct from like a spear.
okay, so trident, net, grenade, and missile. Yes.
There we
Okay.
go.
I wasn't sure how to
All right.
describe it, but I knew what like the group was you were going for. Okay. These 4 should go together. Knockdown, block, cancel, and hit. Types of advantage, and then shoulder.
I mean, knockdown
ball,
advantage
axe.
is hit advantage, right?
That's true.
But I needed
Okay.
a 4th.
I didn't know what the last one was. That's why I got it last, because it was Shao weapons: axe, maul, shoulder, spear. I see. I wouldn't.
Shoulder's kind of a stretch, but you know, in like MK9, he's got the shoulder armor. He's hitting you with the spikes, right?
That's
type of
a
weapon.
classic move. It's a
Yeah.
maul. I probably wouldn't have guessed. I wouldn't.
A maul's like a big hammer.
Oh, okay. I see. I wouldn't have.
And then he
gotten
has
that
the
one.
spear. And then, of course,
Oh,
an
that's-
axe in MK1.
I forgot that he had the spear. That was he had that in MK11.
MK11, and he's had the green one, right? That was one of the projectiles he would summon.
Oh, that's right. He had an
Throw
MK9
a
too. That was
spear at
really
you and
annoying.
repel you.
It's like plus 10 on block or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's freaking
He'd
annoying.
spam that shit. Broken ass AI begging for my quarters.
Broken
bum.
ass AI begging for my quarter.
All right,
Yeah.
one more.
One more. All right, let's go. Let's do this. I am.
Let's see how you do with this one. I'm gonna give you way less hints.
All right. I'm
I'm
gonna.
sell you remashed answers.
I was mashing a little bit there.
That just means I need to have more deliberate things in here. Some of these are kind of a stretch, you know, but this is fun.
This is fun. Okay. A barbecue. Okay, I'm already thrown off by this. Is a barbecue wine cake. What the? Okay. Okay. Tea party. Okay, well,
I can't use spaces in these, and I didn't want to hyphenate. So Lao is obviously Kung Lao, and Hao is Su Hao. You know.
All right. Let's do these. All seem like food to me. MK11 friendships. Okay.
Yeah, they did end up all
okay.
being food. I should have changed that up. Now that I think about it.
No, that's. I mean, it makes sense. Let's see. Vicious, balanced, ethereal. I think I say these 4 types of Melina.
Melina.
MKX variations. Well, I got it, but not in the most.
One of those is Melina.
Ethereal. She doesn't have a vicious variation?
Who's vicious in MKX? Come on now. A variation that's literally named vicious.
Ferritor.
All right.
Yeah,
And
okay.
the other 2?
Morning.
Pop quiz hot shot.
Morning, I think, is Katana. That's the Jade variation.
Right.
And-
She's mourning her dead friend. That's why she wasn't in
Yeah, that's right.
So it was like tribute that she was using her weapon, right?
Yeah, that made a lot of
love the
people
sentiment.
angry. Jade, I feel like there's always that group, like MKX it was Jade, MK11 it was Melina, and MK1 it's back to Jade.
Exactly. Well, it's the one that they don't put in the game, and then they give, like, we find out, like, we just lose hope that they're going to be in the game because, well, they gave Katana a Jade variation, and they gave Katana the Melina Sai in MK11.
Yeah, kind of like they're like, okay, character's not in the game,
I actually, in the context of the story, and okay, they didn't include Jade. I really like the sentiment, not the mechanics or whatever, but the idea, the concept, and the sentiment behind doing a mournful Katana and using the bow staff instead of like her own weapons. Right? I think that's a really cool like paying tribute to Jade sort of thing. And I did not feel similarly at all in MK11. One, that sigh, that's not tribute. You're just giving her Melina shit. What does she give a shit about Melina?
Right.
Anyway,
okay.
Let's see if you can do. So obviously, when you get the third group, there's only 4 left. So let's see which group you get first. How are these characters related, Dink?
Oh boy. I am gonna say Quan, Baraka, Darius, and Zhu Hao because they're all bald. Oh dang it! I want to wait though.
How bald?
I think he is. I'm pretty sure he is. He wears a hat though. He wears a hat.
He does. Interesting point you have there.
Yeah. So
he wears a hat.
Okay. So Al, Aaron, Lau, and Ashra because they all wear hats.
Hey.
And then I have no idea what this one is, but let's find out. Bald. Okay, so
I didn't consider that Zhu Hao was bald. I was fixated on the hat, so that was a little ambiguous. I'm sorry. But yeah, baldies.
No, I mean the ambiguous is what you're kind of going for, right? But I mean that might have been too ambiguous.
Not ambiguous so much as like double entendre. Like it could go like either way. That's what I'm kind of bad at when like making these, and that's what makes good ones good. Is when things seem so obviously at least paired together as like part of a subgroup, but they're actually not because it's used idiomatically or something within the context of the other 3 of the group that it belongs to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So,
that's cool.
There's obviously nothing like that in here, but
I like the idea of combatants with hats and bald combatants is like that. Those 2 in the same thing is really funny to me, and it's. I don't know. This was really well done. This was a very fun version. You were so good at making these like just not super duper hard, but like just fun, challenging. So I look forward to more of these. Hopefully,
like those highlights books that you color in while you're in the waiting room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do they have those in Canada?
I have not seen one since I was a child, probably because I haven't been looking for one. Usually in like doctors' offices and stuff, they had like, you remember those big like bead things? Did you guys have those where you'd like move the beads around and try and
little fucking baby toys.
Yeah,
like
baby toys.
Trying to convince me it's an abacus or something. It's like, you know what? You gotta fidget. Here's just something to do, like while you're waiting, right? Instead of just like being annoying and pacing around, or
I'd be like 10 or 11 years old and knew that those were baby toys, but I'm playing with it anyway. I don't care. I'm unlocking my inner baby. My
mommy, Dinky got poopy. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're 11 years old,
right? Oh, you gotta challenge yourself with baby games sometimes, I guess. I don't know. Oh, that's funny. So another week with this MK Konnections. So many characters on here. That was I'm surprised I got that. But
speaking of characters, have you been Did you play Combat League this week? You posted some videos, so I'm guessing that how
I
hard did you
did.
grind Combat League?
I'm officially back on the Quan Chi train after.
Okay.
I think there's a couple matchups I might be using Sector for more, but I mean, man,
You obviously can't in Combat League. But,
no, but like if I do anything like online events or something like that, I might.
So, who do you like Sector for over Quan?
I think ones where I need to mash out, like Smoke, for example. Smoke's a good one. Johnny Cage feels
Ermac?
pretty good.
You don't mash on Ermac. He
No.
backdash and punishes you for trying to mash at him.
Yeah, you don't mash on him. I like Ermac because Quan gets a lot out of the Shujinko steals. Like if I hit Ermac with like because he steals his 2-bar little thing where he sticks him to the ground.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you know all about that. And then I can throw out a armor portal that will take his breaker away, so he's forced to eat the rest of the combo. And then I charge Shujinko while I'm doing that. He's just like Sector doesn't have as much of that stuff as Quan does, so like he's good for those types of things. But
Sector, assuming they're not going to armor or something, right? Let's pretend that they don't have meter. Sector's buttons are way better, and like literally every button can be special canceled into Shujinko, again pending like armor or maybe a Kameo reversal if it's fast enough. I don't think they are, not to beat a pet punch.
That's pretty fast.
Even Serena. And then depending on who the opponent is, right, you're like right in that like in a guessing game. So you're out, you're zoning, and you got them good old. I think you use Shujinko a little bit differently. He's really good for like pressure with certain characters. You wouldn't think so, but like block pressure, like mental stack, cancel after cancel, sort of stuff.
It's very similar to like Scorpion's 4-3-4. You know how like he's got a mid he could throw out if he wants, but is he going to do the mid or is he going to do the high? Am I going to end my string? Or am I going to do Shujinko?
Have that, right? That Liu Kang kind of has that, plus the staggers, armor breaking staggers from like forward 4. Baraka also has that sort of like a game.
Yeah, no, and Shujinko just gives that to every character if they didn't have it already. So you just get a good mid. The amount of people I catch with my staggers, and I'll stagger, and then on the next one I'll do the Shujinko kick, and it'll pop them up into a combo. So, he's a lot of fun. But I think like with Quan, my spacing was off. I was playing too recklessly in areas where I shouldn't have been, and I just didn't realize.
You had a recent epiphany.
Then. I did, yeah.
Right, like so you were enlightened by what? Let's start there. So what are you doing? Eating some vegetables on a Monday morning and watching some YouTube on your phone, or what?
I was actually playing some Combat League on Twitch when this person was jumping over my purple skulls, like my 3 purple skulls, and they did it consistently to me like 3 or 4 times, and I think I kind of just tagged them once in like the foot. And then that's when I was like, I have all these moves that control this large area right in front of me, but I am using them way too recklessly. Like when I can
using them too close, people are jumping over and punishing you, then you're using them too close.
Exactly, I'm letting them get too close and then being too reckless with them. So where I can be reckless is like 3/4 screen to full screen. That's where I can just be throwing things out willy-nilly a little bit more. Obviously, teleport characters you got to be careful of, but for the most part, I can do it. And that's when I think EX Bone Dome is something I'm going to start using a lot more, because that keeps them in that range where I don't really know why I never thought about that previously. But when you throw, and I tried this a couple times just to test it in casuals yesterday, you throw out EX Bone Dome, and you throw an armor portal on them, not even the metered one, just the regular one, they're jumping. They're jumping 100% of the time. They don't want to be stuck on that armor portal. And then you're just standing 3, combo, full screen, EX Bone Dome, armor portal, you're going to do it again? Like
I feel like the EX portal, like even if, characters have ways around it, but they still have to spend time getting around it. And yeah, it costs a bar, but it's another way to kind of get some of that space back. If you feel like they're gonna avoid the bone dome or whatever, even if they wave dash right through it, that's like time spent that you're walking backwards or dashing backwards or doing whatever instead of, otherwise I feel like we've talked about that mentality where when people put on subs projectile immunity armor and they just kind of have it in their head that they're just invincible, and then they just start wiling. They're just throwing out
Yep.
buttons, right? Like they've got like real armor.
Yeah, there's.
So
If you beat somebody after they counterpick you with a Sub-Zero armor, that's a quitality every single time. You know, they hate that. They hate that. It's so funny.
I want to get back to the Quan thing, but like while we're like on that, I played a little bit of Combat League this week, and I hit this guy with like 7 Melina forward 4s in a row. He was so mad, like it was instant fatality as soon as he beat me. Like he just would not block, and I was just gonna tell myself I was just gonna do it till he blocked, and then when he blocked, I was gonna try to turn my steal back or steal my turn back,
Right.
because he was doing dumb shit when it was like his turn. But he ended up getting me insta fatality.
Yeah, that's what they do that, and then they say all sorts of inappropriate stuff on the mic.
I think it's funny. And the only time that I don't think it's funny is when it's Sub-Zero. Y'all like the most toxic players, like, and I mean like teabaggers, people that like kill you and then teabag you to the very last second, then fatal blue you. Like this is a like sort of thing. It's not 100% of those people are not Sub-Zero, but 100% of Sub-Zeros are that character. Maybe not 100%,
right?
But I'll yell a lot that think that back 3/4 is like +2 on block because there's a down one coming like no matter what.
Oh, every time. For me, it's the smoke players. It's the smoke players that are the most obnoxious, and the teabaggers.
They're in the same camp. I think they have it in their heads that their life is so hard that when they beat you, it's like a really big pop off.
Yeah, it's tough out here being a smoke player. You know, it's too bad. They got all those buffs. They got all those new moves. Man, that character is so annoying to fight against. I haven't really seen any tier lists lately of where people are putting him these days, but man, he's just really annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played much. I played for like a couple days, but anyway, so back to the Quan thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so
you were saying.
So I've had like way more success once I started figuring out like playing my spacing and my neutral the way that I should be, and not being as spammy as just kind of throwing things out, not really just hoping it hits. Like, I'll just maybe this will clip them or something like that. But just more really trying to contain. Yeah, just more playing a smarter zoning game, rather than just and reacting more. And Quan Shi shouldn't be the aggressor unless he's in that one area that he wants to be in. Other than that, he should be kind of reactionary and cautious. And
I feel like when you choose your moments to be aggressive with him, it makes it way scarier too, because it's not something that like, okay, I went through this like 4 times in round 1, and so now I'm very prepared for time number 6 in round 2, sort of thing, rather than like, oh, okay, this guy's going crazy.
Right.
Time it's like, you condition them with the overhead, and then you hit them with the low, right? You save it for that clutch moment in round 3. First time you throw out the low, and they're not looking for it because you haven't used it.
And that using the tentacle more kind of at max range, where it's fairly safe if it gets blocked, or like worst case Ontario, I'm getting hit with a Johnny Cage shadow kick or something like that, just to catch their movement, right?
Yeah, or like a Sub-Zero slide. I'm pretty sure it can reversal punish that.
Yeah, so you're not getting like huge punish. You are losing your space.
Ball roll though.
Oh yeah,
you're giving your life away against Melina.
That's a tough matchup for Quan. That's
I could see it.
She I think it's like a 6-4 her favor. Like it's she doesn't blow him out of the water, but she does kind of everything that he doesn't want the character to do. Much better than him, so that's a challenge.
Her tools, her counter zoning tools. I mean, there's lots of counter zoning in this game, right? But what she's equipped with as a character, I feel like is a really good counter to Quan's specific kit as a zoner. So I could see that.
Yeah, you are outplaying big time if you're winning against Melina in that matchup. I feel like Quan could definitely, he has tools and he can zone her a little bit, but I mean, the thing is like everything she does is unsafe, right? Well, every special move she has is unsafe, so you kind of have to gauge that a little bit and kind of let her hang herself, which is easier said than done, I feel.
Baiter and things like that. The thing about Quan is that So, like, say Sector's Sidewinder or Air Grenade or something like that. All of the frames it takes to do that are like front loaded. By the time that the projectile is out, I feel like she's recovered. And Quan is like a half and half. Maybe like the startup on his projectiles, but he has a lot of recovery, so it makes it easy, especially if you're doing the slower projectiles, to just react with the teleport. And I'm only like +4, right? But now I've closed all that space. I'm in your face, and I'm Melina, and my down one has the range that yours does, but it's also 2 frames faster. And you 13 frame mid is even better against Quan, and that's where she wants to be, kind of like mauling you, right?
Yep. Yeah, you gotta be making sure that you're hitting all your knowledge checks, getting your flawless blocks, getting your up blocks, punishing everything, because, yeah, she's a pain. One thing that I will say that is effective kind of against her, not as much against her, but against a lot of characters, is once they start closing that distance, I just put an armor portal like right in front of me. And then they just back off. Like, they'll just put themselves full screen, and I'm like,
want any part of it. Yeah.
I'm like, that's fine. That's exactly where I want you.
Dude,
So,
for a bar.
and then usually, when they're sitting there, I can build that bar back by zoning using all my
Or if
tools.
you use Serena. That's how I've been messing around with some Serena teams and playing her with Ghostface and stuff. And if I have one bar, then yeah, just mid command grab all day. And during the grab, if I've got Serena, I just do it turns my command grab to like 153 damage and gives me that full bar back. It
It's
is
crazy.
yeah, she's just like a meter battery. Listen, if I get so this is how I was trying to like play him. I played him a little bit this morning. And the beginning of the match and just trying to play more defensive with her little just fast recharging projectile. And if I happen to get first hit, I go right into the down cameo and start building that bar and try to like body blocker, step
Yeah.
forward a little bit. People want to jump ready to anti-air. People want to do something to like try to hit her or do something about the situation. But by the time any of that stuff's happened, I've got 3 bars. So now I can like take more risks because I just have a breaker. Like we're 7 seconds into the round and I've already got breaker.
You got full. Yeah,
Um,
that's good. That's really good.
she doesn't let you capitalize on mix-ups and give you like, she doesn't give you throw combos and armor launchers and things like that. But just as like a big juicer battery. And I tell you, dude, those mid command grab is no joke.
No,
For
that's
one
scary.
bar. And you just get it back if you've got Serena. So you just have like even more bar.
I will say though, talking to Mike Metroid this morning, we both agree that we think that Shujinko's best steals now are against Ghostface.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And so I've been meaning, so maybe we could transition to like something else and just talk about characters and character choice and character crises.
There's a lot of that in the
things
Discord
like
right
that.
now.
There is a lot of that, and it's been on my mind because I'm in the midst of one and stuff like that too. But when you think about like what you want in a character, whether it's like a good mid or the way they play neutral, or we were just talking about, what kind of counter zoning tools they have, and that can work in certain matchups, but not in others. But one of those things on my checklist, at least, is Shujinko steals. How big are like
Right.
Ermac, Ghostface, and a couple other characters, right? That is just nothing I would want to put myself through. So it's hard to commit to a character, say like go all in and like main a character. It's almost like a counter pick, right? A one size fits all counter pick because anyone can
Any character can use them.
choose Sujinko, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have, like, as I was going through, and trying to figure out what the counterplay was to his launcher when he steals the backstage pass, and it's a gapless +5 on block combo starter. Like, that's
Yeah.
insane in a mid on top of all that too. So like, that's actually pretty nuts. So what I mean, and then that's a good thing to take into account. If you're playing against someone who is going to use Shujinko, like, have a character where his steals are a little less, overwhelming, I guess. Which is pretty much like the majority of the DLC characters. Like, they're all those steals are so good.
He still always gets a combo starter, no matter what.
Of
right?
course.
He'll always have that, and he's got the Rekka. And that in and of itself, I feel like you referred to Melina as like the baseline for him, right? Like what he steals from her is like it's pretty basic,
Pretty basic,
um,
straightforward, yeah.
and it kind of just goes up from there.
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say with her on the bottom, even though the bottom seems weird because
With
like,
her on the bottom.
and then Ghostface on the top, and then there's just kind of a, I don't know. I should do another tier list again. I think it's been a minute since I've done that about all the Shujinko steals, but yeah, that's kind of your. He steals the straight projectile, the low projectile, and the roll. So there's nothing nothing too fancy. Combo starter, a couple of projectiles that are better than hers because they go full screen and hers don't. But that's interesting that like that particular cameo is something that you take into account. And I mean, we play a lot, so I mean that makes a lot of sense. Of course, when I'm looking at characters, they have to be able to zone in a little capacity or be at least interesting enough to me to make me not want to do that.
See, and I don't like heavy zoning. Like that's why I don't want to play Sector. Because I feel like if I'm not using her zoning tools to like its fullest potential, I'm just nerfing myself. Like I could try to do that. Like we were talking about the guy that would go variationless Kotal Khan, and he would still
right.
win. Like he'd wreck people, right? But I don't know. It's something that I don't know. I don't really enjoy it. I feel like the highs in this game are very high, but the lows feel very low. And I don't know more so than other games. And I don't necessarily think it's the Kameo system. Um, I don't, I don't know. I've noticed that pattern with other people and stuff too. And I'm just one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Cameo system definitely helps this game and gives you more creativity, I guess. But maybe there's just like hard counters that are just like, oh, this isn't fun. You play one or two matchups and it's like, oh, this doesn't make my Cameo very good, or this I can't do what I want, kind of a thing. And then you just get back into a rut of like, okay, what character can I pick up now? What other things can I use? Other cameos or different pair, because the pairings are endless. So I don't think that choice is part of it, I guess. Is what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's a lack of choice. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of people say the same thing though, where they're just nothing has that like it factor. That's not like this is my main kind of like. I'm trying to like I definitely feel for that, but like I'm not in that position. Like I know I like Sector,
Yeah,
Quan,
you're a
and
Quan
Shujinko.
fanboy. Yeah.
So I mean, those are my characters. I have zero interest in using anybody else at this point in time. Outside of I was just leveling up some of my cameos and invasions earlier today, and Frost was kind of fun. I've messed around with her a little bit over the last year and a bit, but playing her for a longer period of time, she's a little fun, and I like her little Christmas outfit. She's got the lights around her neck.
I love it. That outfit, she's wearing the tube socks that have the stripes on them.
Yep.
She's got her little fishnet garter belt looking things, and the lights keep flickering. Like when you have the wind pose and it goes into the freeze frame, the lights keep going, right? And they've got like a pattern to where like groups will flash, or it goes in like the moving pattern. It says something like Hail Satan or Kill Santa or something on her back. You can see it on her.
Oh, I never paid attention to that.
And then she's got like a little name tag. I forget.
I did see that.
Yeah, I feel like she's probably my favorite character in the whole game. Like roster or cameo combined.
Really?
I want to play Frost teams, and that was a lot of my enjoyment with Sector. I think that's a really good Frost team. Not quite there. Like Frost doesn't give her anything off of the overhead, which I think is kind of not a requirement, but that kind of hurts,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because the low doesn't combo, does it? Off the overhead, or the low?
No, nope.
It's too slow, yeah.
So she just has to do Sector things, right? The down back 2EX or Fatal Blow or,
Yeah,
whatever.
I was using her because I was running Frost Sector, and I was doing just my regular B&B, ending it with the standing 3 into the Frost Bomb, and I'm thinking like that's pretty intimidating. And then while that bomb's slowly going, you can get a couple missiles off, got chip damage and all that kind of stuff. So That's
Right, beta teleport. I like to do the EX Sidewinder, like behind it, so it kind of locks them down and gives the orb more time to travel. And if they want to jump, then they get hit by the rocket and they fall into the orb. Things
I
like
had
that.
that happen a couple times. I was
Yeah, use that time to charge your standing 2, or what?
I keep
Whatever you
forgetting
want
about
to
that
do.
move. I keep forgetting about that charge move because that's one of her better damage for combos, I believe. You do
Yeah,
the
well, and when it's charged, it turns into a plus on block mid.
yeah, that's crazy. I need to be utilizing that more. I definitely have not been using that at all, to be
I was
honest.
fiddling around before we started this podcast. I was in practice mode with Noob Frost. I like
Okay.
he's like my lab team. I don't understand how to play neutral with Noob. Like every time I try to play him in a match, it just feels really awkward to me. I don't quite click with what he's going on, but he's so fun in practice mode. I've been messing around with a lot of Sector and Frost. He's got some good damage with Frost. Then Ice Carpet, and if he spends a bar on the clone projectile sort of thing, and then starts doing noob things, you can break 400 damage for a cameo in a bar. I mean, Frost is back by the time all that's done, so basically 1 bar,
I don't know why this
which I think
is,
is good.
but every time I play noob players, they always do the shadow move immediately into an unsafe whatever noob does, like dive kick, slide. Like they
Yeah, so they
use
do the clone, and then as soon as the clone's gone, they got the dive kick that advances him forward, or the slide that advances him forward, and for some reason, that's like doing a backdash and a ball roll. That's like
it's
just
really weird. I don't
dude,
understand it.
just risking your life for nothing. Like, what do you get off of that on hit? Right? Talk about high risk, low reward.
Right.
At least
100%.
Molina gets a combo
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
if it hits.
he gets nothing. Like, look at, like, 70 damage. Ooh, so scary.
I mean, maybe it's something, something that I don't. Like I said, I'm not very good with the character, but he's really fun. He has really fun buttons. The portal is too much fun. I love portal combos. That's why I've been playing both of those cameos. Frost, you need like ice carpet, right? But you get
Right.
the capture state, so you can spend the bar. Normally it'd be for like a setup, but
Have
you
you
can just do it in the middle of your combo.
have you seen the Shujinko steals in the noob
For
matchup?
noob, are they bad? Where would you rate them on your Shujinkydink still tier list?
They're top tier, not like tippity
Okay.
top, but they're up there. So he steals the slide, which is a combo starter in the corner. It's half a
Of course it
bar,
is. Yeah, of course it is.
and but the caveat to that is if you block it, it's only +5. So I
Oh
mean,
my god. How will you survive?
I don't. It's tough out here being Shujinko, and then the 2-bar steals both combo from Apep Punch or Conquest Kick, and he steals the ground portal, which will do the same thing as Noob's, and he also steals Noob's teleport. So if you want to jump, I can try and react and throw Shujinko out there for you, and it's a combo starter. So it's pretty juicy stuff, I will say. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Happy for you.
yeah, top tier cameo, but he has no ambush, so and you have to charge him. So is Shujinko bad? Shujinko's so bad. Nobody uses him. Oh man, that's Shujinko downplay from some of these people out here. I tell you, how can you?
That's you.
No, my poor low tier cameo.
Yeah.
No, I actually do think he's a top cameo in the game, especially if you know how to use
He is
him right.
now. His biggest drawback is the same drawback to Shang, where you have to have like very wide matchup knowledge. At least understand his is not as like severe as Shang, right? It's not like a full morph.
No,
But knowing what you have, they do a pretty good job. Like the down back, or the quarter circle back cameo is always the one that launches, the full bar one that launches and stuff. They try to make them, or is it the forward one? Either way, they try to make those similar inputs. So you're like, fuck, I don't know what Lee May gives me, but I know whatever this input is going to be
Right.
the launcher.
yeah.
And
So if you think of it in that way, it's not as intimidating. It's, down back's a launcher, down forward's your utility. But then when it gets hairy is when you get multiple ones, like in Ermac, where in down back you can steal the little glow that he has, or you can steal the lift, or you can steal the low trap, and you got all three of these things that you're mixing up. That's when like the Shujinko kind of expertise kind of comes into play.
who would you say are his bottom 3 steals?
Bottom three. I would say, and I mean, bottom is subjective because I think all of his matchups are great, but these are the ones that are like,
but nothing crazy, right? Not like, oh jeez,
yeah.
oh jeez.
I would say probably Melina. What we've went over. Ashra, probably.
Really?
Yeah, like again, good steals. Like he steals her plus unblocked projectile and the low projectile. The low is quite unsafe. I think it's minus 12 or
But
something
it's
like
the
that.
EX version that hits the entire
The
floor.
entire floor, so it's good.
Yeah.
And then steals her rising launcher. So like, again, good steals, but like nothing compared to some of the other characters.
Yeah, restand the cost of Mac 2 bars normally. And
Yeah.
while you're doing that, you can recharge him to also do the EX lift. Like
Yeah,
the same
that's
combo.
the same
Three bars worth of Ermac resources in one
in
Shujinko
one
combo.
Shujinko combo. Yeah, so that's kind of gross. And then I would probably. This might be controversial, and I might change my mind because I'm not actually looking at the character select screen right now. But I think Smoke's probably down there, because he has one steal that, like, he has that anti-air knife toss he does. I have never used that once with Shujinko, and it's wildly inaccurate. He does steal the teleport, which is +2 on block and has ridiculous tracking. And then he steals the invisibility, which of course being invisible is good. But I mean, I don't know. I just don't find that to be that crazy, I guess.
Bottom 3 Shujinko steals, and one of those steals turns you invisible.
Yeah. Well,
Dude,
I mean,
this Kameo sucks.
please buff. The invisibility is also your combo starter. A lot of people actually don't know that. So yeah, and you do like with Quan, you do 1-2 punch invisibility 1-3, and that'll combo. Because yeah, even in the Discord, someone was talking the other day, and they're like, "Oh, you don't get any sort of combo extender from Smoke." I'm like, "Yes, you do. It's the invisibility. He shouldn't be able to do that, but he does." So,
Who was saying that? We'll call him out.
oh, they know who they are. They know who they are. Spreaders of misinformation.
Let's not call anybody out.
The last thing I wanted to go over is I wanted to give you an update because I recently purchased a leverless controller, and I've been working on it. You know, kind of more in my off time. You know, because I wanted to get the whole Floyd thing out of the way, and now that that's done, I can go back to focus because I just get too many missed inputs, and I need something that's going to help me make my inputs cleaner. The amount of times I've died because I've done an accidental sky drop or accidental tentacle or something like that is embarrassing. So
on leverless?
No, on controller, which is why I'm.
Got you.
So it's I think I've gotten over the unintuitive up button on that controller. Feels a little bit better now, like to move around. I'm still trying to work on my B&Bs. I'm not really able to land my combos quite yet, but I'm getting the special moves down.
Do you have the SOCD that I told you to put it on?
Yes, I switched that over as soon as I saw what you were talking about, and then I switched it right away. So
to the last input override.
Yeah.
For those of you at home that don't, SOCD simultaneously occupied cardinal directions. So on leverless, you can hold backwards and forwards at the same time, and that SOCD will determine like what happens. Like Street Fighter 6 has like a competitive regulation that if you do that, it needs to equal a neutral input, which just kind of gives you like shortcuts, right? You can hold a combination of directions to do like a DP motion that isn't the traditional DP motion, because you can force a neutral there by holding down and up at the same time, you know? That's really hard in a game like this that's full of like just back forward inputs, because if you don't release that back before you hit the forward, it just goes from back to neutral. And what I told you to put it in is the last input override, which means that if you hold down and up at the same time, whichever button you hit second is going to override the first one. So you use that with back forward. You don't have to like lift off. So to do like a back forward one projectile or something, right? You don't need to lift off the back. The forward will override the. So you can see it makes dash canceling and things a lot easier. It makes back forward movements a lot easier, like a lot more precise.
And that's exactly what I'm looking for, because those are where I make my errors when I'm dashing or going from
you get accidental
ducking.
back jumps or or what have you, how did you map the rest of your buttons, like all your attack buttons?
I did
Like, what
this.
button is your block button?
My block button is my RB, I think. And then Kameo is LB. I had it very similar to how I had it on stick, because I
Which is
played.
what? Let's go by number. So there's 8 buttons, right? 4 on top and 4 on the bottom. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing the first 2 on the top row is your
Those-
standing 1 and standing 2.
Yep, and then my
And then what are
block.
the next 2 buttons?
Then the next 2 buttons on the bottom are my kick. On the top, the RB is my block, and RT is.
No, let's not. No RB, no RT, right? Just 1, 2, 3, 4 on top and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom, right? From left to right, the 4 buttons. I'm just curious how you laid it out.
So
That
my third one is-
RB, because they swap those on stick, right?
Yeah, that's
The button that's on the right is actually the LB or the LT or whatever.
Right.
It fucks me up so bad. Like in
Yeah.
menus and
I
stuff.
don't know why they do that. It's so dumb.
It's for the I know there's a legitimate reason for it, but
So the top one, third from the left, would be my block. Then the fourth one is my stance switch. And then I have kicks and Kameo on the bottom, and I haven't used the other one yet. And then there's a bunch of extra buttons on there that I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do with.
What's your stance switch?
I don't remember. I have to plug it in and see again. I haven't really been.
Fourth one on the bottom, probably last one on the bottom. I think that's what it is by default.
I've only been messing around with special moves, jumping. Like one thing that's really good is trying to do like instant air missiles with Sector, just to get used to that jumping and special move animation. I've been doing that a lot, but I haven't played any games or anything. Mixed success. It's like I'll figure it out, and the next time I go to do it, I've forgotten what the trick was.
Sector is a fun character on Leverless because so try, instead of doing instant air grenades just for practice on Leverless, go into the forward 3. So hold forward 3 and do an air grenade from that and see how quick you can get it to come out.
Well, that's a good idea.
But start slow, right? And then build up speed. That's the trick. Don't try to do it instant. Just get it to come out and then try to make it faster. It's like when you're practicing an instrument or learning an instrument, learning a song, right? You do it slow and you're ingraining like muscle memory and timing, and then the speed comes afterwards once you have the inputs. But then start doing like her air thruster and then do like the cancel and things like that. And I think that'll really help with the feeling your way around on there. So you want the stance switch to be like in a good spot, right? Like be really aware of where that is because you need it for a lot of stuff in this game.
I will say something that I think I figured out last night that could be kind of troublesome to this whole thing is that I believe my Brooks converter kind of kicks itself off after a certain time limit.
Oh, yep.
So I got to be aware of that, because if that happened mid-match, that would be awful.
That's a common problem. There might be an update. I had a firmware update for that controller because I have that same controller that you do. I don't use it all the time, but I have it, and there was I think there's even like a warning on their site, like if you're experiencing like a pause after 30 minutes, they fixed the PlayStation one with the firmware update, I'm pretty sure.
I'll have to look into that.
Xbox, but that's common with the converters.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was like a console thing. They're not trying to encourage you to be using like a PlayStation controller on Xbox or something. So they try and get those things out of there. But
I think it's something else for you to practice on your Leverless, like when you just want to fiddle around, right? Not necessarily lab something specific, but just get like comfortable with the controller. Use Ghostface and do like any block string, like forward 2-1 or something, but cancel it into the run and then cancel the run into a command grab, because the command grab's a half circle. That'll get you really used to kind of the half circle motion.
Man, the half circle, any 3 like motion input is so fun on this thing. It's just like plinking it along. Oh, it's such a good feel.
So that is because of I don't know if you experienced with Sector, if you're already doing this intuitively on the Leverless, right? When you go to like backdash into like a forward 2 with Sector and you end up getting a flamethrower instead because of the back forward 2.
Right.
You basically just do the half circle and stuff instead, right? When you hit the down, that'll kind of clear the input buffer, and then you just get forward 2 because it's registering a down forward 2 now, which she doesn't have.
Oh, okay. I actually didn't know that, but
so you can use the same thing. So like when you're Sector, back, down, forward 2, basically. Then it's a
Okay.
matter of just, timing the dash cancel.
Right. That makes sense because it'll cancel the input. So
Otherwise, you're going to get, a lot of flamethrowers.
So I'm going to be practicing more on it this week now that I've found Floyd. I might start by going, now that I have like a almost level 30 sector, I might go back to like the early invasions levels and just practice against those weak little opponents just to get used to my combos and stuff. But hopefully I'll be updating you next week, and as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go and see if I can find anything about that firmware update for my converter so I don't get kicked out consistently.
I think it was on the controller. It wasn't a converter thing. It was the actual controller.
Okay.
We'll go.
I'll
through
look
it.
it.
When
I'll
we
look
wrap
into it.
up here, but we'll find it.
I'll look into it. So, but that's all our topics for this week. So, yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like because it really helps me out, and subscribe if you haven't because we make new videos almost every single day. Hashtag Bonehawks, all that stuff, and we'll see all you Bonehawks next video.
Accept your death.